Ever notice how silence can feel louder than words and sometimes more powerful? Hi, we are HumatiQ. We explain human behavior with science, not opinion. In the next 5 minutes, you'll understand why ignoring someone changes social dynamics, how the brain reacts to silence, and why this effect appears across relationships, workplaces, and cultures. Imagine you send a message that matters to a colleague, a friend, or someone close. Minutes pass, then hours. Your attention keeps drifting back to your phone. Nothing happened, yet your mind is busy. That reaction is not personal weakness. It's a predictable brain response. If this helps, subscribe. We publish short science explainers twice a week. Pause for a second and ask yourself this one question. When someone goes silent, are you reacting to missing information or to feeling devalued? Keep that question in mind. The human brain constantly predicts social outcomes. When communication stops unexpectedly, it creates what neuroscientists call a prediction error. Your brain expects a response, a reply, an acknowledgement, anything. When it gets nothing, that expectation is violated. Dopamine systems, which are often associated with pleasure, also react strongly to uncertainty. They essentially sound an alarm, pulling your attention toward the unresolved gap. Your brain flags the silence as an important unfinished task, forcing you to think about it more, not less. This leads to the next point. Your brain increases its monitoring behavior when it's met with silence. Without feedback, you can't be sure what the other person is thinking or feeling. This lack of information creates a state of low-grade anxiety. Your cortisol levels, the body's stress hormone, rise slightly as your mind tries to regain a sense of certainty and control. This is exactly why an ignored message can feel so much heavier and more stressful than a negative one. At least a negative response provides information and closure. Silence offers neither. This brings us to a concept from behavioral psychology, the scarcity bias. Humans naturally assign more value to things that feel limited or difficult to obtain. This applies to objects, but it also applies to attention. When someone's attention becomes scarce, our brain automatically recategorizes its importance. It feels more valuable simply because it's not readily available. This isn't a form of conscious manipulation. It's a fundamental principle of how our attention economies evolved, long before social media even existed. The less you get, the more you want. So how does this shift power? It's less about dominance and more about emotional regulation. When one person goes silent, it breaks the emotional feedback loop. Normally, conversations involve a constant exchange of reactions. A smile, a nod, a quick reply. These are emotional reinforcements. Silence removes them. This pause allows the prefrontal cortex, the part of your brain responsible for logical thinking and self-control, to gain more influence over the impulsive emotional circuits in the limbic system. The power shift here isn't about controlling the other person. It's about reducing your own emotional reactivity and creating space for calmer, more deliberate thought. Of course, our modern world amplifies all of this. Messaging apps with read receipts, online status indicators, and constant notifications intensify these ancient brain responses. The variable timing of replies, sometimes instant, sometimes hours later, mirrors the same unpredictable reward mechanisms seen in gambling and social media feeds. This unpredictability is precisely what keeps our attention hooked, making silence in the digital age a more potent tool than ever before. Silence isn't strength or weakness, it's information. Understanding how the brain responds to it helps explain behavior, not justify it.